Kia ora koutou, back in the green again, and today I'm claiming the win. 33.73 profit across 5 trades. Not huge, but it felt good. I was confident and managed my risk well, and I recovered quickly after my only red trade. The bot, not so sharp today, only made $10, but more on that later. Let's break down the trades. So when I got up this morning and started trading, XAGE was the leading gainer today. I did watch it actually during pre-market, just at the open. Saw it pop up to make a high of 596 here at the start of pre-market. Didn't trade it through this, didn't actually trade that, but I just wanted to see what was popping up at the start of pre-market. But when I came back around 6:30, it had made this move here and pulled back and had just broken through VWAP here. I missed that because I didn't have, I wasn't logged into TradeZero to take the trade. I just saw it on the TradingView platform. So by the time I'd logged in, I was waiting for it to pull back to retest VWAP. And that's where I got in. So I got in here on the second red candle as it came down and hit VWAP and the 9 EMA, and I was in at 922. So right there on that level, just in here. So good entry. I was happy with my entry. Dipped down below VWAP a little bit further, went to 514, but then pushed straight away and hit some resistance here around 548, and as soon as it hit that resistance, it was a previous level of resistance here, so I hit the sell key and I got filled at 543 with 51 shares. So good quick trade to start the trading session, and just over $10 profit on that trade. The stock then pulled back below VWAP, and I didn't look at getting in again here. Just didn't look very, very strong. And I actually went over to GRO and took a trade there. But I'll just go through this trade here. This was the last trade I took of the session, which was, what was that, just before 8 o'clock. So I finished up just after 8 really. I was having an early night. So this trade here on XAGE, it had rallied back up here from the lows around 450, pushed back up, broke through VWAP here. I got in around the whole dollar at 501 as it pushed through here. I didn't take the profit here. It broke through VWAP, and I probably could have taken my profit around 510, 5 to 515. But I was looking for it to break over VWAP and really push. The problem is that it didn't do that. It rejected and pulled all the way back down to 490. So it was right on my stop, and I was thinking about stopping out here. But it held the 9 EMA and then started pushing back. But the problem with this trade was that, I had held through that pullback and, holding for, 4 or 5 candles, thinking it's not going to do very well. And I got that in my mindset that I needed to get out of the trade. And as soon as it went into profit, was like, I'm taking my profit. And I sold. So I sold at 508, 100 shares, and made $7. So the issue with that is that I should have held. I should have held to see if it was going to break through VWAP. I could have got out break even if it didn't break through VWAP, but I really should have held for the break. It did break. It went up to 529, 530, came back down and held VWAP and the 9 EMA and then it ripped. It ripped to 540, had a pullback, micro pullback, and then a move all the way up to 680. So really quite disappointed in myself for missing that move when I was in so early on that move, and just holding through, you know, that resistance there at 514, 513. You know, I need to be better at that. So that was my trade on XAGE, and I was a little bit annoyed at myself after that trade, so I actually called it a day after it went up to 680 and pulled back. Obviously there's another entry there as it pushed back up to make a new high of 740, and, you know, seeing that it made a high of 827 at the open. Pretty strong stock during pre-market, but it looks like it's pulled back over the course of the rest of the day. So that was XAGE, 2 trades on that. The next stock I traded was GRO. So this was also one of the gainers on during pre-market. Didn't really do much. It pulled all the way back from pre-market open, popped up just before I started trading, and then popped up again here around 645. And this is where I thought I'd get in here. So on this one here, it pushed up. I thought it was going to push back and break through to retest the highs here. So I got in around the $0.50, 252, just on this green candle here. And let's clear that. So I was in around this level here on this green candle, looking for it to push through and break through that line. I can't draw. Break through that resistance there, sort of that high. So it did break just over that high, but didn't hold, and then pulled back. I held through the pullback, and once again it came up and retested 262. Couldn't break through that level, and I missed selling on that candle. And then I thought, well, it might retest again. It didn't. It pulled back, dipped all the way down to VWAP, held VWAP, and I thought, it's holding VWAP, maybe it'll retest and push back. But didn't look like it was going to do that, so I sold here at 239. Got out of there, so $13 loss on my second trade, and so now I was down around $3, around $3 in the red on the day. And that was pretty much it for that stock. I think it just rolled over and yeah, didn't recover, so glad I didn't hold that for the rest of the pre-market session. Next stock I traded was SXTP. SXTP popped up, what was that, around 7 o'clock, and made a nice move from $2 up to $4.42. I actually took a trade on it as it came down through VWAP. I was in a little bit early, but I'd only bought one share because I didn't realise I hadn't put in the share size that I wanted to buy, and it was just set on one set share. So it got in one share at 401. It then pulled back, and I got in again as it was looking good and pushing back up higher, and I got in at 387. So just on VWAP here as it broke. I didn't take any profit as it pushed up to 428. It came back down, held this level here around 360, 365, and I took my profit here as it pushed up to just over 403. I actually took it as it hit, I think it was 407, 408, somewhere around there, but I didn't realise the bid wasn't that high, and it was only at 403, and I was selling on the bid, so got filled on the bid at 403. And yeah, so it was a quick pop on that one, and I didn't get back in here. Yeah, but it did grind back up to 437, and then that rolled over as well. So quick pop and drop on that one, and only $8.01 profit on that trade. BCTX. Was the next stock I traded. So this was a quick pop and drop, really. It popped up here, pulled all the way back, big, actually decent sized red candle. Volume was a little bit lighter here. I decided to jump in as it pushed back up here through to VWAP, 255, broke through VWAP, pushed up here, and I got out at 276. Sold a little bit early on that one. Should have waited for it to retest the previous high, but it had hit my profit target, and I just wanted to get out quickly on this one, as had this big red candle here, dropping back all the way back down pretty much to where it had started. So it was looking good coming into this candle here, good volume. So, but yeah, in and out pretty quickly on that trade there, but nice, clean, quick trade. So I felt good about that one, and that was a profit of $21 on that. So that by now I was back well and truly into the green for the day. And with XAGE being my last trade of the day, that was a $7 win, so that was $33.73 by the end of the day. I'll just bring up XAGE again. So I'll just quickly bring up the bot. So the bot today didn't perform as well, and mainly because the stocks weren't as clean. They were pretty messy, especially the leading gainer, XAGE. So I watched XAGE on my second monitor for most of the morning, and so the bot took some trades on that as it broke through VWAP, but because it was trading backwards and forwards over VWAP, it was getting stopped out each time it entered, basically. So the first trade here, it stopped out with a loss. The second trade, it stopped out with a loss. The next trade, it stopped out with a loss. So it pretty much made losses right through until I took my first, until this big move happened here, and it bought in here on the break of that first green candle. So when that candle broke there, it bought in on the next open and bought this candle here, and got actually bought the candle that ripped all the way to 680, and then took a stop here as it hit its trailing stop mark. So that was its best trade. The next trade was pretty good as well. It didn't stop out as it pulled back down here. Its stop level was way down here, and pushed up to here for a nice win. But that was all the trades that it took today on XAGE. So I only made about $6. Yeah, $6 after all the losses here. It was down like $58 on the day, and then it made some back there, but it was still in a drawdown, and then it came up to $6 P&L on the last trade. So bot didn't do as well today. And the only other stock it traded was SXTP while I was trading it. And, you know, once again, it took its first trade here, breaking up and getting a profit there of, what's that, 373 to 416. And its second trade, it took here when it broke through VWAP, and it stopped out down here. So don't count that first trade there because it's trading something back in April. Traded this one here, which was, actually I'll bring up that. So it's $22 there and $18 there, so it was only $4 profit on SXTP. So I only made $10 today. So not too good for the bot either. But yeah, so for me, 33.72 or 73 actually, profit today. You know, 4 wins out of the 5 trades, which was good, 80% accuracy, and risk reward ratio of 0.9. Be nicer if that was a bit higher, over 1 at least, but with good accuracy, that's pretty good. The bot only made $10 today. Not its best session. It struggled with XAGE around VWAP and didn't trade it clean. It also had a couple of profitable trades on SXTP, but overall nothing major. I leveled the playing field a little by only allowing the bot to trade 50 shares per trade. But you know, that said, with slightly tweaked settings, the bot could have made $89 today. So there's still plenty of potential as we keep refining. I'm happy with how I traded today, confidence is building, and I'm reading the plays better. Only 1 red trade and I managed it well. I just need to keep working on holding through my plan, especially when trades go red before they go green. Bot's taking a bit of a back seat today, and you know, I'm okay with that. Thanks for following along. You know, drop a comment if you've ever sold too early. I know I'm not the only one. I'll catch you tomorrow. Hei a popo.